What is up, my friends? Welcome back to another video. Today we are taking a look at a Woodwind library that I can't live without, honestly. And it's one of the most unique libraries that I own as well, and I think is honestly a must-have if you're into any sort of orchestral cinematic music at all, and that is Hollywoodwinds by Cinesamples. It's their, I believe their second ever library that they've ever released, their first being Cineharp, and then their the second with Hollywoodwinds recorded in a church, and then they started with Cinebrass and their whole orchestral lineup, and that was fantastic. But Hollywoodwinds, why am I making a video on this? Because I wanted to share the library that really is like a special weapon in my toolkit, and really I believe so many other people's toolkits as well. It really is it really is something special, you know. You really get so much bang for your buck. So there's keyboard patches where it's basically playable stuff in like sustained staccatos, but you also get triads and tremolos as well. Then there's scales and rips, which are, of course, what this library is really known for. And you hear these all the time in like commercials and trailers and all that. And the textures and effects I don't personally use as much, but they're also nice to have as well. So really just a lot for, I think it's usually like 200 bucks or something. Very, very affordable for what you get here. And the characteristic of this is more John Williams-y. Like if you hear film scores and you hear woodwind runs, this is kind of the type of thing it's trying to emulate, I think. And also just the overall vibe of it is very cohesive because it's been recorded as an ensemble rather than having any solo instruments. So if you're looking for solo woodwind instruments, you're not going to find it here. You want to check out Cinewinds for that, for their orchestral solo woodwinds. But for ensemble woodwinds, this is the library to go to for pretty much any case. So let's kind of go over these. Super simple. I've pulled up a few of the patches here that I like to use and a few others that I kind of want to show you. But before we really get too deep into it, I want to give you my sample library buyer's guide in case you don't have it yet. Totally free guide that goes over my favorite sample libraries that I use on a regular basis. And it's just to really answer the question of like, what libraries do I like to use? And so instead of kind of telling them all in a single video, like I've done before, I decided to condense it all into an easy to read PDF that you can download absolutely free in the description box below. If you want to check that out, it's totally free to check out. And it's my thank you for watching this video. So let's kind of get into Hollywoodwinds and hear some of these patches. Now, the way you see this layout, you have blue at the bottom and red at, blue at the top and red at the bottom. And so the blue key switches are basically the playable areas. So when you play, you're going to hear the scale. And whereas if you play or press the red part, that's going to determine the key that you're in, right? So these are major scales. So that's C major. If I press the C sharp key, it's going to be C sharp major. Press D, it's going to be D major. And the blue key switches or the blue playable range here determines the type of scale that you're going to get in terms of like how many octaves, if it ascending or descending or whatever. Super explanatory, self-explanatory. Once you try it out for a few minutes, you'll get it right away. I found this one of my like easiest libraries to ever use. So let's just hear, maybe I'll go to E major and hear these variations. Yeah, so I mean, the overall tone of the library is just so bright and kind of in your face in a way. But I think that the main calling card of it is twofold. Number one, the fact that it's like kind of recorded in this space that really allows the sound to project and really sing out in a way that represents like the classic film score type of sound. That makes it super appealing. And number two, just the ease of use. Again, everything is pre-recorded and automatically syncs up to your DAW tempo as well, which is always very helpful. So just keep in mind that you're not going to have solo instruments in this library, but there are tons of libraries that are specifically made for that purpose, and less libraries made with this type of context in mind, with pre-recorded phrases and scales and all of that, which is a shame because these type of textures sound the best when they're actually recorded, as such, rather than having to fake it yourself and you use like a playable runs patch, for example, in another library. So yeah, my highest types of or my most frequent uses of this library are mainly for like transitions into bigger sections, like if I'm doing scales, or if I need an additional background texture like a flutter or a trill or a tremolo. I'll basically use one of those patches to give it that extra little boost in the background of the arrangement. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And then the textures and stuff, like I said, I don't really use too much because I don't really like to use pre-arranged patterns. Like the pre-orchestrated ensembles is totally fine, but having performed different patterns, I tend to like to create my own patterns from that. But you can certainly use these as inspiration as well to start off a cue if you want to. And I think many people have done that, as you can certainly hear in a lot of cues as well. So not a big deal, but the scales are really my favorite part of the library. And of course, the keyboard patches are always useful to have. And all of this for a pretty affordable price of $200, and on sale I think you can get it for at least like $149 and sometimes maybe even $100. Don't quote me on that. I believe that's the case though. But yeah, just a recommendation for this library because I pretty much use it again on every single project that I work on. It sounds fantastic, and the fact that it can sync up to your host tempo is of course very very usable. Makes it very usable, because if it didn't, then it would make things a lot harder, of course. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope this video gave you a little bit of clarity on the library if you don't have it already. And if you do have it, let me know if you use it a lot, or maybe you don't. Maybe you like to play in your own runs and stuff. But if you don't have the library, let me know if this kind of gave you some ideas on what to consider. If you're curious about buying this library, would you be interested in this type of library? Let me know in a comment below. I'd love to kind of hear your thoughts on that. And before you go, of course, I want to give you my sample library buyer's guide. Like I mentioned, it's totally free and it compiles all my favorite libraries into one easy to read guide. If you click the first link in the box below, you'll get to it right away. And it's my gift to you for watching this video. So thank you so much. I'll catch you in the next video and take care. See you later. Bye-bye.